What's up guys, Decent here. Let me show you how to drift in Drift Paradise. The first step to do this is to pick a good drifting car. I personally recommend the Mazda R7 FD for yes, but you can go with whatever you like. But I recommend staying away from cars like, for example, this GTR, as they have like a weird handling quirk that makes it really weird to drive. So basically I'm going to just demonstrate of this. So like if you barely like counter steer for like 0.1 seconds, your drift just ceases to exist. Some other cars do this, I'd recommend staying away from them. So for a baseline of a good car to drift in this game, I'm going to go with the Mazda R7 FD. This car is very good, has good control throughout gears 1 through 3. For a map like Force, I'd recommend second gear, although for some corners you might want to do third gear. And for some really tight corners, you might want to go with first gear, but that's all hearsay. So I think what a lot of people struggle with drifting in this game is counter steering. Counter steering can be a bit difficult to learn at first, but if you get it down, it's pretty simple. It's only just counter steer when you need to. Like if you feel your car's having a bit too much angle in your corner, and you might want to recover from that, you can just tap the so you have the adjustments you need to make. Now a lot of people get wrong this gearing, which I've already described. But for this course, you want to use second gear to RX-7. Although your car's gear issues really do depend on your car, but for this car it's like that. Although for this corner here, you're definitely gonna want to shift up in this third to get the extra power slide going on. And first corner, you might want to use the first gear depending on your entry into the corner. You can always hit your fender on that little sticking out edge on the dirt there, but it's pretty flashy. I don't know if you want to do that yet if you're new to drifting. So I think another thing that people have a problem with is corner entry and just staying in your line. So like a fast line, if you want to drift fast, right? You want to do the interior line for one that's playing here. And that's how that is. Another thing is you want to always be on the throttle. It always sounds a bit hard. I don't recommend it if you're a new drifter. But if you're always on the throttle, you aren't really going that slow. This is kind of obvious, but a lot of people don't really grasp this. Like in this game, the cars are pretty easy to handle if you know what you're doing. So with very little, if not any, throttle control is needed. Just send it in the corners and you'll be pretty fast. For example, here you can see an on-screen keyboard on the left of your screen. It shows you my inputs on my keyboard. So you can see my A and D keyboard inputs are really brief. Just make sure that I don't hold them down for too long, so that I don't oversteer too much, or that I don't countersteer too much. Sometimes you do have to hold it down like I did there, to avoid fully oversteering that corner. That's mainly unique to countersteering though. Again, if you want to countersteer correctly, you just gotta want to feel the car and just do what the car tells you to do while drifting. You also notice that I have my W key held down almost all the time. This is just a lot faster, and if you have good car control, you can always do a full throttle run. But it's usually pretty difficult on this course, especially because like the sharp corners make it really hard. There's another quirks of drifting in this game, so it's the fact that if you try and do a 360, if you look at my tires, they just inverted themselves, and it basically makes it undrivable. Similar options can happen in reverse gear when trying to do this. It's really annoying, and some more things I'd recommend for getting to drifting on this game. Whatever you do, just don't use handbrake. Trust me when I say this is very slow and inefficient. Some more things you might want to do is to enable, disable traction control systems. As this is actually a feature. I've tested it out. So when you get into a car, basically traction control is on by default. It might be off by default. I have no clue. It doesn't actually tell you. Like I have no driving limits. You press T when you get in the car. So like for example, it's on now that I've gone out of the car. Like if I get in, oh god, my game's lagging like hell. If you press the T key once, just once, you'll notice a little difference in the driving. I highly recommend you have TCS off, which is what I just did. I turned it off by pressing the T key once I got in. I don't know if it's a real feature or not, but like, I always feel driving this when I do this. Like, it just feels so different. And I believe that doing pressing T when you get in does turn TCS off. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure Plasma did not actually make the chassis for this game. There's no way to say that for sure. I mean, he does use free models on some parts of the game. Most of the cars are free modeled. So it's like not a stretch to say that he did use a stolen chassis. So like you just might have forgot to remove the TCS on and off feature. But whenever I get a run in my cars, I usually always just press T when I get in to turn the TCS off. It also runs out a lot, and I'd recommend you do it too.